Basic Array. Welcome back everybody. I'm Prakash Pradhan, your trainer for this entire series. In today's topic, as you can see, we're going to have a brief discussion in order to understand the theoretical portion for the array. Array is very much important for the syllabus of grade 9 and 10. So that's why I thought of making this video for you all. So without wasting further time, let's go ahead and see what is array, why do we need to have array, okay, what are the requirements, why do we need to implement, where you can implement this array. So let's say entire things in detail. So normally when any programmer write a program, that means as a student, whenever you provide a set of instructions. So simply I do believe everybody knows that program is nothing just a set of instructions. So that means when we provide a set of instructions in a programming form, that means with the help of this programming language, whenever you write any set of code, that is taken in a form of instructions. That means a computer will give you or produce any kind of output actually that is in a form of or under the process of your instructions only. That means instructions are nothing, simply a command that you are giving or you are telling to your computer system in order to obtain any kind of your desired output. So that means when we write a program, so during this program writing process, I do believe that you all know that we come across the need of the variable. Of course, we do understand there are many types of variable that might be, your integer, or it might be long integer, single precision, double precision. It might be your string variable. So many types of variables are there. That means without using a variable, I don't think that anyone can write a program in order to obtain any desired output. So here comes another one problem now. So when we write a program, if the size of the program gets increased, that means the more number of variables you are going to use in order to process any kind of data. That means the more number of variables, that means the more complexity in order to manage the variable. So if the size of the variables are increasing, you might get complicated even to remember the name of those variables. So there comes your importance of an array. That means this array is going to help you to reduce the number of variables actually. So it's very much important in your school syllabus. Okay, array is a data structure actually, or a special variable that stores more than one similar type of data with a common name but having different subscript or index number. That means if I say a is equals to 1 and again I say a is equals to 2, and if I tell you to produce the output or just tell me which value is stored in A, so definitely you are going to get confused. Why? Because both the variables are same. A is equals to 1, A is equals to 2. So in that case, we have another one solution in a form of array. These values will be differentiated with the help of index number. That means A1 is equals to 2, A2 is equals to 3. So in that case, if anyone asks you what is the value of A, obviously you are going to ask, are you talking about A1 or A2? This 1, 2, whatever number we are going to associate along with the variable, that is nothing, simply index number. So array uses this kind of index number. So that's why it's going to help you. In spite of using only one variable, you can store easily different types of value actually. So individual data item in an array is called an element. That means if you have multiple data, okay, it depends upon your need, how many types of your data that you are going to use in terms of the number. So all of this data item in your array is simply known as an element. So each element of an array is referred by an array name. So whenever we intend to store a value with the help of your variable and index number, they must be named properly first. Okay, that means each element of an array is referred by an array name and its subscript number, which I'm going to show you in detail by the time we come to the other theoretical or this practical implementation of this an array. Now, here are some of the things that you need to understand before you proceed with this topic, an array. Each array has a name. Don't forget, you cannot store a value with having your index number in order to remove any kind of confusion to store or data, similar type of data. Every array must have name. It's not only about the name, it must be clarified the data type. So what type of data you are going to use, and of course the size of data. And one more thing that you need to make clear over here, or you need to be familiar, is array is defined using dim statement that we often call it dim. That means the array cannot be declared without using dim statement. So now if you talk about the advantages of array, the first of all, as we have already discussed, array is very much helpful in order to reduce the number of variables in a program. That means if you would like to store 100 values, that means how many variables you are going to need? 100, obviously. So the more number of variables, the more chances of making an error. So that's why now this array is going to use, believe it or not, just a one variable. Variable is one, but the values are 100. Amazing. So how does it manage all this? With the help of index number that we have already discussed. That means, of course, we're going to use only one variable, a is equals to 1. But if I wanted to store another one value using the same variable in a form of array, now it is going to associate that variable with the index number. That means a1 is equals to so and so value, a2 is equals to so and so value. So if you notice over here, we are having only one variable, okay, but the different values are stored because they are different than each other. So array makes more convenient to use data in a program. It's more efficient. Trust me guys, it's more efficient to manage or to prepare your programming actually. And over here, one more advantage that we find with the help of arrays, sorting and comparing of data can be done easily using an array. Sometimes we need to sort the data, sometimes we need to compare the data, of course, which we are going to do in the days to come when we start the practical. That comparing and sorting a data with the help of array is much more convenient and easy. So if I have to talk about the syntax of an array, you can see over here, as I already told you, that array is defined by dim. Okay, and every array used to have a name that I have already made clear, I guess. So dim is going to use it, that is going to declare an array. And then array must have name, and apart from this we are going to use subscript and what type of data that you are going to use. Okay, now there is a one example if you see at the bottom, okay, where array name is the name of your array variable and subscript is an integer which declared dimension. Of course we'll talk about this single dimensional and this double dimensional types of arrays are there, which I've left to discuss for the next video. Now if you see the example over here, dim, it declares you are trying to use the array, and sum is the name of your array, and 3 is your subscript. Okay, now as I told you that there are two types of array actually. One is a single dimensional array and second one is the double dimensional array. So array having single subscript. Over here, if you have a look over here, see you have only one subscript, this 3. That means this is a single dimensional array. So array having a single subscript is simply known as a single dimensional array. And you also need to understand, when you use a single dimensional array, data is stored in a form of your list actually. It is used to store a list of data. That means either your data will get stored in a vertical form or horizontal form. You cannot have matrix over here. So in order to overcome, okay, having a data in a form of your matrix, we are going to use the double dimensional array. So double dimensional array is simply having two subscripts. That means an array having two subscripts is simply known as a double dimensional array. So it stores data in a form of table or matrix. Whereas if I talk about the single dimensional array is not able, okay, is not able to store a data in a form of table or in a form of matrix. It can store a data either vertically or horizontally. Now it depends upon your need which type of array you are supposed to use by the time you program. Now here is a one example. Of course I would like to first go for the theory, then we'll talk about the practical. So over here, if I talk about the one example of your single dimensional array, if you see, of course, CLS, everybody knows it is used to clear your output screen rather than input screen. I do believe you all know that. So DIM is simply used to declare an array. That is done. And every array used to have a name. So I have given the name of your array over here is a num. And the array name is associated with the subscript. That means the 10 elements you are going to use it over here. So that's why what I did, I have given over here for I is equals to 1 to 10. That means I'm going to use 10 values, 10 different values. Subscript is 10. And since I'm going to use read data, so I use a read over here. So for I is equals to 1 to 10, of course, that means it is going to read or execute something for the 10 times. And it should be equivalent to your subscript over here. Okay, and then read num. See which variable I'm reading over here, the name of an array. So it is going to read the name of array and the subscript associated with that. What is the value? Of course 1 to 10. This 10 is the subscript actually. So this portion is simply used to read the value. I do believe that you all know how your read data works. Now after that, this first block of code simply doing the work of reading portion. So after that, I need to go for the printing as well. So that's why for I is equals to 1 to 10, subscript is 10. And then what I'm doing, print num. What is the name? This num? Num is the name of your array. And what is the value that you have over here in a form of your subscript with the help of your loop? This is 10 actually. So first it is going to print The first value of I, of course, that is 1, because when we talk about a read name 1, so it's going to read the first value of your array. And then it is going to read the second value of array. It is going to read the third value. So in that way, it is going to read 10 values continuously. Now, since you have said that read num I, the first value of I is 1. That means the name of your array is num only. All the time it's going to store the value in that simple one variable only. But don't forget, it is going to associate with the index number. That means read num I means read num 1. First value of num is 1. So when you go back, the name of array is the same thing, but don't forget the variable value will get changed. That means this time the variable name will be num2. So num2 is going to store this value. I have given this number in ascending order. That doesn't mean that it has to be in this order. It can be in any order. But the way it is going to read it over here is on the basis of this index. So the order it has read the value, it is going to print in the same case. Read data. That means if I have given 10 elements over here, of course I need to provide the 10 data as well. So the output of this program will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in one line, not vertically. Horizontally it's going to print. Remember, we said that single dimensional array cannot display a data in a form of table. So that can be done only with the help of your double dimensional array. Of course, this what we are talking about is only the theoretical portion now, and after this theoretical concept understanding, I am going to show you the practical implementation of array as well. Now, if I talk about another one example over here, it's the same thing. Just see the declaration of array dim, it's the same thing, and the name of my array is num. Okay, so how many subscript I am going to use? 5. Okay, now for I is equals to 1 to 10, read num I. So how many values is going to read? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, intentionally I have written over here 10. Remember, I told you the element or the subscript that you have over here, that most number of values we are going to read it actually. And what I did over here, 10. No, you will have to write 5 over here because I want you guys to understand this. So that's why I made this. When you declare the subscript as a 5 over here, that means the 5 values are going to get read by the read statement. But how many times you have given the loop? 10. So it's going to display a data for 10 times. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so this should be 5 because we have given the name of your array and the subscript is 5. This is intentionally made. Now, second, for I is equals to 1 to 10. Now, if the subscript that you have used as a 5, then the loop also should be 5. So that's why this 10 and this 10 should be 5, 5. So I have simply printed that array. That means when I print this array, it's going to print how many values? Make a guess, quick guess, 5 values. Why? The subscript is 5. Then why did I write this 10? I just want to test you whether you have understood the meaning of subscript or not. The number of subscript you have over here, loop should be that much number of times. Don't forget, guys. So that means for I is equals to 1 to 5 and print array name and I is your subscript. So how many values it's going to read? Num1, num2, num3, num4, num5. So how many values are there? 5. So it's going to print 5. But apart from printing the value that is being stored in array, I have also used the accumulator. That means it's going to store all the values. So sum is equals to sum plus num1. What is the first value of num I? Num1. So what is the num1? 1. So sum is equals to 0 plus 1, 1. So when we go back again in order to print the second data, so at that time num array name is same, but the subscript value is same. What would be this? 2, because the next value will be plus 1. So 2. So last time the value of sum was 1. So 1 plus num2, which value is in num2? 2. That means 1 plus 2, 3. So that way it goes back for how many times? 5 times, and it's going to find the sum of all of this array value that you have stored. So that's why you see I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to print it in the same line. Okay, because it's been separated by this comma. And apart from this, we have also stored the total. Don't forget, the total should get printed only once. Okay, so that's why the total is printed out. So total is equals to sum. What is the value of sum that I have stored over here? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So that's why the output of this program is given something like this. Okay, now let's see one more program in order to understand the theory portion of this array. Then I'm going to take you to the practical. Now here it's not like that all the time we all are going to print only the numbers, or we are going to perform any kind of this mathematical operation. Sometimes we might be dealing with the string as well. So over here the dim is a keyword that defines an array, and this is the name of our array. So by the name you should be able to understand we are going to use which type of data. String. Obviously it's a name dollar, so that's why it's string. So how many subscript that we are going to use? 5. So that's why for I is equals to 1 to 5 and read name dollar. That means it's going to read the value that is stored with the name of your array. So name dollar. This is read name dollar I. What is the value of I? 1. So first name will be Ram. Then again it goes back. It's going to read name dollar I. What is the second value of I? 2. So name 2 will be Sita. So that way it's going to repeat all this process. So now name 1 is equals to Ram, name 2 is equals to this, name 3 is equals to this, name 4 is equals to Hari, and name 5 will be Narayan. So in that case, when I execute this second block, what it is going to do, the name $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the value is already stored. Now it is going to simply print that. So that's why the output over here will be vertical. Don't forget, I repeat again, single dimensional array cannot print your data in matrix or in tabular form. So that's why it's going to display this data vertically only. So I guess you could understand the bit over here as a theoretical person how array can read, how array reads the value, how array is defined. Now let's go to the practical session so that you get much more idea how array can be implemented in your QBasic programming. Okay, now welcome back. Now let's see the practical implementation of that single dimensional array, the program one that we did last time in the theoretical portion. So I'm going to show you step by step how array is going to store the value. So we are going to use the same program that we talk in a theoretical portion. So have a look over here how we are going to use this one. Okay, so the name of the dimension that is always, or the name of array that is always defined by a word dim that we have already discussed. And apart from that, whatever name you wanted to assign, if I have a look to your previous example in a theoretical portion that we cover over here, if I wanted to show you that program, the first program, the name of your array was the num, and what we did, we printed the 10 values. So we are going to do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to give a name of your that array as a num, and how many subscript that you are going to use? 10. So now since the 10 subscripts are there, the loop associated with this is also supposed to be the 10. So that's why for I is equals to 1 to 10. Now I need to read the 10 different values rather than supplying by the user from the keyboard. So that's why I'm going to use the read data. So read, what is the name of your array? Num. And how many elements are there? So that is I. Okay, now this block is simply going to read the value. So how it reads, how it prints, how it stores, I'm going to show you step by step even in a paintbrush so that this array is clear to all of you. Now the first block, as I already told you, it's going to read the value. Now the second block we are going to work is to execute that. So that's why if we have read the 10 values, so execution is also 10 times only. Okay, so I is equals to 1 to 10. Then I'm going to print the name of your array, I, next I, and I'm going to define over here the data. Okay, let's print all the data in the same line so that it saves your time as well over here. Now I'm going to provide the data for this. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if I run this program, it's going to give you the same output that we discussed in the theoretical chapter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. But how is it able to display this data? That is important over here. So let's see how it works. Okay, because I want you all to understand how in a QBasic you can, write a program to display data in that particular format. So when I say read num I for the first time, so let's write the full program so that it will be easy for you. Let's say for I is equals to 1 to 10. Okay, then read num I, and then next. After that, what we do again, for I is equals to 1 to 10, that is for the printing process, and then print name of your array and the subscript, and next time and the data. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I would like to show you how actually data is going to be stored. Okay, now let's see this. First time when we say for I is equals to 1 to 10 and it does read num I. This is the name of your array. So when I say read num I, what is the value of I at that time? If you remember, 1 is the initial value. That means in num1 it is going to read the first value, 1. So in that case, what will be the value? As I said, num1 is equals to 1. It will get stored. After that, now again the loop will go back. We already know that next I is going to send you back. Now, what is the second value of I? Second value is 2. Again, it will throw you inside this loop only. So, read num I. See, the name of array is same. It is not changed. But only the subscript value that you have over here in a form of I is going to be changed. And I do believe that you all know the default incrementation of for next loop. If the step is not specified by you, is +1. That means the next value of I will be I plus 1. That is 2. That means now it is going to read that the value num I. That means num I means your num2. So in that case, what it is going to store? Now here it is going to be num2 is equals to which value it's going to read? The second value that you have over here. Which value is that? See, second value is 2. Now num2 is equals to, it is going to store 2 simply. Okay, so similarly it will just continue till 10 times. So in a second block, when I come to second block over here, so print num I means the first value of I. That means num1. So what is the value of num1 that is stored last time? 1. Why? Because this value we read last time. Okay, again the next I will go back. Okay, and it is going to print the num I second time. Now what will be the second value of your num I? Obviously 1 plus 1, 2. So in that case, what is the second value that you have stored last time with the array name and subscript 2? That is num2. So this way it is going to store and execute. That means I can have any type of value that I have assigned over here. It's not mandatory to be in a sequence. So let's say I'm going to write 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 8, 9, 10. So if I run it, see, if I run it, still it's going to display. Why? In the same mechanism, it's going to store the value. Same mechanism. That means when it reads the value, it will simply read it. Okay, it will store the value, and when we print it, it's going to print this one in a same order. So similarly, if I wanted to, print a name like last time that we have done in the theoretical portion. So let's try that. Dimension, the name of your array, I'm going to give a string one. So I'm going to write name $. So how many, subscript that you are going to use? So let's give 5. Then first person is reading 1. For I is equals to 1 to 5. Okay, read name $, and the subscript. Okay, subscript, and next time, and then this block is simply going to read the value, and then I need to execute this one. So for executing, for I is equals to 1 to 5, and then print name $, subscript I. Okay, and then next I, now I need to give a data. I need to provide the data. Let's say A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, any data you give. Now if I run this program, you'll witness the output is this. Why it's coming in vertical? Because I did not give semicolon over here. Remember I told you either it's going to display data vertically or horizontally. So if I give this semicolon and if I run this program, you'll see the output is this. It's coming close because there is no gap. So if I give comma, then you'll find the 5 words are displayed something like this. Okay, now let's see another one example that we did last time. That means we're printing a value 1 to 5 along with the total. So let's do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to run this program. No need to be panic. You go for step by step. It will be easy for you. Okay, let's say sum. I'd like to go for 5. Remember, I made a mistake last time just to test your skill. I wrote this subscript 5 and the looping statement was 10. That is not allowed. Okay, so we are not going to do that mistake over here. For I is equals to 1 to 5. I'm going to print the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along with the total. Okay, so read sum. This is your subscript, and next time this person, what it does, make a quick guess, it simply read the value. And where is the value? I am not given a value, so let's give over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, done. But I need to execute also. For execution, I'm going to do this one. For I is equals to 1 to 5, and I need to print what do I need to print? Array name itself. Okay, now what's going to be the value of I? Sum 1, sum 2, sum 3, sum 4, sum 5. That value is going to be stored from here. Okay, so after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just terminate this loop, and the value is already given. Let's end this. Okay, now the sum is left out because we would like to print the total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So simple, let's do total is equals to total plus sum I. Sum I means what? 1. Again we go back, sum I will be 2. Sum 2 means 2. Okay, let's change the value as well. You might be thinking that it's going always in ascending order. You can give any value you want, because our concern over here is just a 5 value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay. Now it's going to print all of these values along with the sum. With the sum, you didn't print. So let's print over here. Print sum is equals to, where's the sum? In a total statement, that means this variable total. So it's done. So it's going to read all the value. It's going to print it. At the same time, it's going to store the total as well. Kind of accumulator. So it's going to find the total of all of these numbers. So this way actually your single dimensional array can help you. So if I say that how about if the value is stored in that way, I would like to print only one value. So let's say this data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I say that I would like to print only the third value, what is the third value that you have read last time? Sum I means 5, first value. Sum 2 means 6. Sum 3, because the value of I is going to be changed when you go back with the help of next I. So sum 3 is 7. So if you'd like to print only that value, so that's going to do this for you. Now if I give sum 3, okay, done. If I print it, now you see. That means array can help you this way also. Once it reads the value, that value can be called from any block of code over here in this program. This is done only with the power of your array. Only array can do this, because I told you the first value of sum I will be sum 1. So how is it going to store the value over here? Let's have a look over here again. No problem. Okay, so let me erase this one. Okay. So let's do it over here. So I'm going to write over here the same program, sum I. What is the first value of I? 1. So sum 1, what it is going to read? 5. Now sum 2, what is the second value it is going to read? Sum 2 is 6. And then sum 3, what is the sum 3 value it is going to read? Sum 3 means what? 7. And then sum 4, fourth value of this your array name, that is a sum 4. What is the fourth value of this? 8. Sum 5, what is the last value that is going to read? 9. That means, so as you can see that how array can store the value, okay, having different subscript with the help of your QBasic programming. And I do believe for this session it's more than enough. Of course the single dimensional array is not over yet, so we'll be having another one session. That means I'm going to post another one video in order to understand some more program, okay, some more array in a single dimensional array, and then only we'll be moving towards the double dimensional array. So by the time, if you find it fruitful, please do like and subscribe. Thank you.